Swadika, we're so happy you could join us for this Thursday, November 5th edition of Newsline. We're broadcasting live on NBT, Radio Thailand FM 88, and also on NBT World. And my name is Sandra Hanutsaha. We'll begin with today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward. In our first story, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has confirmed that the government places great importance on combating corruption in all sectors. The Prime Minister chaired the opening of the Anti-Corruption Foundation, acknowledging corruption as being a major problem in Thailand, depriving the country of resources and opportunities. He said the government's anti-corruption policy consists of corruption prevention, elimination, and the encouragement of an ethical conscience. Children and communities must see the importance of combating corruption. In addition, the Prime Minister said other related social issues must also be addressed, as that would contribute to the success of anti-corruption measures. Efforts such as reducing social inequality and encouraging a mentality of economic sufficiency. General Prayut said successful efforts in all these areas will create a country that is stable, prosperous, and sustainable. The new ambassador of Germany has paid a courtesy visit to Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. His Excellency Peter Prugel, new German ambassador to Thailand, on Wednesday visited Government House for an official meeting with General Prayut for the first time since he took up the post. Deputy spokesman of the Prime Minister's office, Major General Wirachon Sukontapatipak, said that General Prayut has offered his official welcome and congratulations to Mr. Prugel and expressed confidence that the new German ambassador will continue to support the country and help promote closer relations between Thailand and Germany. Major General Wirachon said that the Prime Minister also explained the political situation in Thailand and the reason for his decision to lead the government in bringing the country out of conflict, while making sure that all benefits, including those for all allied nations, will be maintained. Deputy Prime Minister Wisanu Kranam has declined to comment on an open letter sent by a political party asking the National Council for Peace and Order, or NCPO, to retract the invocation of Section 44 to cover the rice pledging scheme case. The Deputy Prime Minister admitted that existing laws will protect officials who are working transparently, however, added that some officials are concerned about possible consequences. Therefore, the NCPO has invoked Section 44 in a bid to maintain confidence among those involved in the case. Interior Minister General Anupong Paujinda said Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha wants officials involved in the case to be able to work to their fullest capacity, without worrying about how the case might impact them. Therefore, the invocation of Section 44 was necessary to ensure that those working on the case would feel at ease, adding all procedures will be conducted in accordance with the law. A Deputy Prime Minister has inspected all the routes that will be used for the upcoming cycling project to honor His Majesty the King. Deputy Prime Minister General Thanasak Patimaprakon and Minister attached to the Prime Minister's office, Suwapan Tanyuwatana, as well as Permanent Secretary to the Prime Minister's office, Police General Ek Angsananon, were joined by representatives from related agencies in the inspection of the Royal Plaza to check on the readiness of the area for the Bike for Dad project, which will take place on December 11th. The Royal Plaza is part of the 29-kilometer route that cyclists will be riding through in the special activity, which 99,999 people have already signed up for. Concerning reports of December 11th as being declared a public holiday, General Tanasak said that the issue has not won the cabinet approval yet, but it will be brought up again when the day draws near. European Union or EU representatives have decided not to remove Thailand's yellow card status after assessing the country's tackling of problems in the fishing industry. However, the EU is extending the deadline for Thailand to solve issues of illegal, unreported, and unregulated or IUU fishing to the end of this year. Agriculture and Cooperatives Minister General Chathai Sarikanya said Thailand will speed up ways to monitor and carefully regulate the issue in accordance with plans to manage the fishing industry. Thailand will also send the management plan to the EU again by the end of this month. Meanwhile, authorities have already inspected 19 out of 73 fishing boats, seized greater than 60 gross tons, or sized rather, greater than 60 gross tons. Officials will have to inspect the remaining 54 vessels by the end of this month. The ministry is set to draft rules and regulations of the fishing industry by the end of this year. An EU reassessment is scheduled for January of 2016. The Energy Policy Management Committee has resolved to maintain the LPG price despite a rise in the global market price. The move is aimed at helping the public shoulder the cost of living. The committee's meeting yesterday, chaired by Energy Minister General Anantaporn Gajanarat, looked into the capital cost of LPG following a rise in the world's LPG price to $411 per ton. However, the committee forecast the product's price would remain steady, while the domestic LPG fund, which currently stands at 8 billion baht, was still in the position to provide a subsidy for Thai consumers. The committee has resolved to maintain the LPG price at 22 baht and 29 satang per kilogram in an effort to reduce the burden on consumers. In addition, authorities have also extended the NGV discount card program for another year with the same conditions applied. The Monetary Policy Committee has agreed to maintain the policy interest rate at 1.5% a year to accommodate the Thai economy to expand continuously. Deputy Governor for Monetary Policy of the Bank of Thailand, Jaturong Jantarang, said the Thai economy recovered slowly in the third quarter. The third quarter growth rate was better than the second quarter, and domestic consumption slightly increased, following growth in non-durable goods, investment in some businesses, and government spending. Mr. Jaturong also predicted that the government's economic stimulus measures would help support the economy. However, he warned that there were still negative factors, including the global Chinese and Asian economic slowdowns. These factors posed risks to the export sector's recovery and also investor confidence. Thailand will host the International Seminar Workshop on the implementation of United Nations Guiding Principles on Alternative Development, or ICAD-2. A variety of ministers and high-level policymakers, experts and practitioners, international organizations, academics, representatives of the local communities, and the public and private sectors, all from the 53 member countries of the Commission on Narcotics, Drug, or CND, will participate in a study held from November 19th to 24th in the East Shan State in Myanmar, as well as in Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai of Thailand. Olivier Lemaire, Regional Advisor of United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, or UNODC, explained that participants will get to observe how alternative development, which is a way to provide more opportunities and income to the people by promoting the cultivation of industrial crops instead of illicit cultivation, operates in both Thailand and Myanmar, and to prove that the UN guiding principles on AD can be implemented in areas that have a different geosocial context.
Well, we've been supporting the government since the beginning, but we have to insist on the fact that the leadership came from His Majesty, his vision on having a humane approach to consider what is happening at the community level. So we've been supporting this. We've been supporting in all countries balanced approaches to drug policy. So what has been done in Thailand is really amazing, and it's going to be enriched by experiences of other countries. And I think it's going to be a very important element to prepare the UN General Assembly on drugs, together with very essential elements: harm reduction, meaning reducing the harms for people who use drugs. This is a must. And also, of course, getting sure that the way the criminal justice system is handling people who use drugs is efficient, cost-effective, and humane.
And the Director General of the Public Relations Department, or PRD, has encouraged PRD personnel in the northeastern province of Khon Kaen to help publicize the government's policy and restore unity in the nation. PRD Director General Apinan Jantarangsi presided over the ceremony to commemorate the 55th anniversary of the Public Relations Office Region 1 in Khon Kaen. On this occasion, he granted honorary certificates to representatives of Radio Thailand from upper northeastern provinces and participated in the consecration of an image of the Hindu god Indra blowing a conch, which is the symbol of the PRD. In his address to the staff during the ceremony, Mr. Apinan noted that the country is in dire need of love and unity. He called on all to urgently promote public understanding of the government policy so as to reunite the nation and pave the way for reconciliation and sustainable peace. And that is the end of this edition of Thailand Moves Forward. It's now time for a very quick break, but stay tuned for more. And first, here's a look at the exchange rates and the commodity prices.
To maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The second core value, being honest, sacrificing, showing restraint and determinations in doing good for the majority.
Even if we don't see them, they are amongst us. And they're hungry. Slay your power-sucking monsters. Take their power away. Think when you plug.
Tuning to Thailand today, this Thursday on NBT and NBT World, meet Police Colonel Sihanat Payudrat, Secretary General of the entire Money Laundering Office, who talk about the transfer and hiding of dirty money and threats to Thai public.
The way that you try to launder the fund, so in short we will call it money laundering.
That it means only money.
We say money.
We say money,
in
yes.
fact, just not the money. It will include all the assets. And fortunately for Thailand today, you are up to date.
Oh. Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Sometimes different views lead to conflict, but in Indonesia, differences are more likely to be accepted no matter who you are. And Panotsi Sinsap takes up the story.
How many countries in the world can say they have the nation's biggest church and the biggest mosque right across the street from each other? Also, did you know that in many Indonesian families, members of family don't necessarily all follow the same religion? Furthermore, this country has enjoyed peace and harmony. What has contributed to the open-mindedness of the people here?
Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in terms of population. It is also the biggest island country in the world. It have more than 17,000 islands. And it is where Hinduism, Buddhism, and Islam can stay together with local culture, especially Javanism, peacefully and harmoniously. So there are a lot of things that we can learn from Indonesia. Pancasila, which is their national ideology, make Indonesia more open and coexist with countries that have different religions and cultures. So this helps a lot to promote people-to-people relations.
Pancasila refers to the official philosophical foundation of the Indonesian state. Pancasila consists of two old Javanese words, panca meaning five and sila meaning principles. It comprises 5 principles held to be inseparable and interrelated, namely. These principles help people to live in peace, despite their religious differences. And with such openness, some Muslims here do approach Buddhist monks to ask for their guidance.
บางทีไปกับรถบัสนี่13 คัน มีพระอาจารย์คนเดียวเป็นพุทธในรถบัสเนี่ย
I was in a bus, a caravan of 13 buses. All are Muslims. I was the only Buddhist there. I acted like a guide telling them stories, preaching about karma and other teachings. I might be the only monk in the world that brings Muslims to tour around mosques. Every religion here, I have received invitations to go and preach to them. Even Catholics, I also went to preach to them. They're not afraid to approach me. They come to me for advice. If they're troubled, they'll just approach me. Seems like they can rely on me, and the teachings are used for their guidance.
Through the various conflicts in the world, many have blamed religion for separating people due to differing beliefs. But truly religion exists to instill good morals into people, and the lessons taught are meant for the people to hold on to. Instead of segregation due to differences, an understanding such as we have here facilitates moves towards a more harmonious coexistence. For NBT World, I'm Panotsi Sinsap in Jakarta, Indonesia.
And in news from elsewhere in the world, Romanians in Bucharest were divided over the resignation of Prime Minister Victor Ponta, who quit after street protesters, prompted by a deadly nightclub fire, called for resignations. Ponta stepped down to take responsibility for a fire in a nightclub on Friday night that had claimed the lives of 32 people by Tuesday and set off protests nationwide. His departure might lead to a political realignment, although the coalition of 3 mainly leftist parties that form a majority in parliament show no signs of a split. New elections are not due until December of 2016. President Klaus Inohinus is expected to consult political parties separately over the new premier starting today, and a possible nomination might emerge in the next days. More children are joining the ranks of refugees streaming into Europe, with some families taking a new route from Turkey to Bulgaria to avoid crossing rough seas to Greece as winter sets in. The UN Children's Fund, or UNICEF, reports that at least 190,000 children have sought asylum in Europe so far this year, out of 760,000 people who have crossed the Mediterranean. UNICEF said it was bracing for possible arrivals in Bulgaria, Romania, and Albania because of early signs that desperate families on the move from the Middle East and Africa could change their route again as borders tighten. Although smugglers now offer discounts to cross the Mediterranean down to $1,000 from $3,000 to $5,000 per family in some cases, treacherous seas may dissuade some and force others to seek alternative ways to reach continental Europe. Britain has suspended all flights to and from the Egyptian resort of Sharm el-Sheikh after saying an explosion probably caused a Russian plane to crash in Sinai last weekend. In a statement, Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond said the government believed there was a significant possibility that an explosive device caused the crash and advised its citizens against air travel to the Red Sea resort. The Airbus A321M crashed on Saturday, October 31st in the Sinai Peninsula, shortly after taking off from Sharm el-Sheikh on its way to the Russian city of St. Petersburg, killing all 224 people on board. Any evidence that a bomb knocked the plane out of the sky would deal a heavy blow to tourism in Egypt, a pillar of the economy that is struggling to recover after years of political turmoil. Sadly, that's all the time we have for this edition of Newsline. If you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to email them to us at newsline.nbt@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook by typing in NNT, and check out our website at thainews.prd.go.th/en. We're going to say goodbye today with NASA's high-definition video of the sun taken from its space-based telescope. For Newsline, I'm Sandra Hanut Saha. Have a great day. Sawasdee ka.